are now entering the podcast studio of Chronicles, episode The Rolling Stones and the Altamont Tragedy. Welcome to Chronicles, the podcast where we explore history's most chilling curses, mysterious legends, and the dark stories that haunt our past. I'm your host, Sandra Pink, and today we dive into one of the most intriguing curses of one of the darkest moments in rock history, marked by violence and chaos, the Rolling Stones and the Altamont Tragedy. Our story begins. The Rolling Stones and the Altamont Tragedy, 1969. The Altamont Free Concert on December 6, 1969, was meant to be a West Coast Woodstock, a celebration of peace, love, and music. Instead, it became one of the darkest moments in rock history, marked by violence, chaos, and the murder of an audience member during the Rolling Stones performance. The setting of the stage, the Altamont Free Concert, was organized as a free festival to close out the Rolling Stones' 1969 U.S. tour and featured a legendary lineup that included Santana, Jefferson Airplane, the Flying Burrito Brothers, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and the Rolling Stones. It was originally planned for the Golden Gate Park in San Francisco, but the venue had issues and it led to a last-minute relocation to Altamont Speedway, a racetrack 60 miles east of San Francisco. These rush changes led to serious problems, including no proper security, fencing, or medical stations. The Hells Angels and security disaster. One of the biggest controversies was the decision to hire the Hells Angels motorcycle gang as security. The payment: the Angels were reportedly paid $500 worth of beer to manage the crowd control near the stage. In reality, instead of peacekeepers, the Angels act as aggressive enforcers, dwelling pool cues and motorcycles to control the crowd. Tensions escalated throughout the day. Jefferson's Airplane's Marty Balin was punched in the face by a Hells Angel when he tried to intervene in a fight. The Grateful Dead refused to perform and left after witnessing the violence, the Rolling Stones, and the murder of Meredith Hunter. By the time the Rolling Stones took the stage that evening, the atmosphere was tense and hostile. As they played Under My Thumb, an 18-year-old African-American man, Meredith Hunter, attempted to move closer to the stage. Hunter, dressed in a bright green suit, was confronted by Hells Angels members who began pushing him back. Feeling threatened, Hunter pulled out a gun. Witnesses say he had been harassed all day by the Angels. Hells Angel Alan Passaro immediately stabbed Hunter multiple times, killing him. The entire murder was caught on film in a documentary, Gimme Shelter, 1970. The aftermath. Alan Passaro was arrested and charged with murder but was later acquitted, claiming self-defense after the jury saw footage of Hunter brandishing a gun. The Altamont tragedy symbolized the end of the 60s, a violent counterpoint to the peace and love spirit of Woodstock, August 1969. The Rolling Stones were heavily criticized for their role in the disaster, though they later distanced themselves from responsibility. The legacy and cultural impact. The Altamont tragedy forever changed how concerts were organized, leading to better security measures and more professional crowd control. The event became a cautionary tale about the dangers of poor planning and relying on violent, unprofessional security forces. The film Gimme Shelter 1970 captured the chaotic energy and shocking violence, making it one of the most famous concert documentaries ever. And that brings us to the end of this episode of Curse Chronicles. What do you think? Is the Rolling Stones and the Altamont tragedy curse real or just a coincidence? Let me know your thoughts by reaching out on all social media or leaving a comment. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and stay curious. As always, beware of curses from the past.